Now, it cost the city about $90,000 to reopen this pool, but just look at all the kids here. Are you guys excited that the pool's reopened? You can see a lot of people here in the community are ready to start swimming. It's going to open up in about an hour. Well, imagine never having to miss a green light. Well, that's reality for this new RIPTA line, and one of the reasons why it's so fast. Well, Patrice, the father accused of buying booze like this for preteens, was here at Providence District Court where he was formally arraigned. Well, CryptoLocker hackers said, "Show me the money," and Swansea police did, but only after they reached out to the FBI and realized it was the only way they could get their files back. First, I want to talk about the damage from this explosion. It's very extensive. I'm going to step out of the way just so you can see what I'm talking about. You can actually look inside somebody's home. It's a beautiful day in this sleepy Smithfield neighborhood, but if you look closely, you'll notice a tiny terror destroying the trees.
It wasn't as noticeable last year, but this year is very noticeable.
Don't let the size of these European white moth caterpillars fool you. John Godding says the invasive species devours many types of trees. One way you'll know the teeny terrors have taken root in your trees is by taking a look at their leaves. If you notice a buckshot effect like this, well, then you might want to call the state. That's exactly what Godding's neighbor and hundreds of other Rhode Islanders are doing.
We're looking for large populations so we can control this particular insect.
Bruce Payton with the Department of Environmental Management says these inchworms are also attacking orchards and could affect the fruit harvest. They spread from Cape Cod to as far as Westerly and now even parts of Connecticut. If not stopped, the caterpillars could cause millions of dollars in damages like they did in Canada. But there is a solution. Just introduce a predator to take down the caterpillars. This one isn't up to the job, but this one is. Yes, that's a fly. Researchers at URI and UMass Amherst are turning to this parasitic fly, also from Europe, to take down the caterpillars.
Lays its eggs on the leaves, and the caterpillar eats the leaves with the eggs on it.
It doesn't end well for the caterpillar. Just think back to that graphic scene from the movie Alien.
All of a sudden the thing bursts out of the person. Pretty much the same thing.
Bye-bye, caterpillars. The flies are coming. Well, Dan, I actually asked the health department those very questions, and they say they're not naming those 128 facilities because they're, quote, basically sworn to secrecy. The beef recall is here, but it's not stopping this Rhode Islander from getting a burger.
I always have a burger here. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous?
This food truck gets its beef from California. The recalled ground beef comes from Wolverine Packing Company out of Michigan. 128 Rhode Island facilities, including a school, nursing homes, and restaurants, got the contaminated meat. But the health department isn't naming names.
Very scary that they aren't telling people where the beef was sent to. People need to know.
A lot of our viewers wanted to know why the health department isn't releasing the names of these 128 facilities. Well, I asked them the tough questions, and they say, well, they just can't for legal reasons.
Here, the distributor shared the information with us, but specifically told us very clearly that this was proprietary, confidential information not to be shared.
If you release the names of these different places, then in the future, these distributing companies aren't going to tell the health department that there's an E. coli scare?
They won't tell us their customers.
So the department discreetly contacted all 128 locations and made sure they sent the beef back to Michigan. With Memorial Day on the way, now more than ever, the department wants everyone to thoroughly cook their burgers. Chef Peter Kelly at Johnson & Wales says it only takes a few minutes to cook and check the burger is at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit. It's an extra step, but a sure way to get a healthy, juicy burger. Now, I also asked why Rhode Island found out a day late about this recall and that local facilities were involved. Well, the health department says they called the company on Monday, but they didn't hear back from them until Tuesday. Sierra Putman, NBC 10 News. Ruby Olivares hasn't left her daughter's side since the accident. That's the reason why I met with her from her daughter's hospital room, where we spoke about what she remembers and how her family's recovering.
She's just not the same baby, though. You know, she was always a play around, hyper happy baby, and now she can't do much. She's limited.
Limited but alive. It's a small miracle for Ruby
The fact that I almost lost my daughter, if If it would have just been another minute, she would have been gone.
On Tuesday, Oliveras, her boyfriend Ruben Gonzalez, and their baby were inside their Pawtucket apartment.
Started out like any day.
While she was taking a shower, their home exploded, then caught fire.
I heard the blast. I opened the shower curtain, and I just saw all the fire and the ceiling down, and I heard the baby crying and Ruben screaming, and I just ran across the house to grab her. I started throwing the ceiling off her.
The baby was covered in debris and burning. Gonzalez took the brunt of the explosion, trying to protect his family.
He was trying to get us both out. It's just his hands were so burned. It was raw. But to know that he loves me enough to try and save me before himself, he's not going nowhere now. No, he's screwed. He's stuck in my family.
More than half of Gonzalez's body was burned. He's next door at Rhode Island Hospital. Oliveras says that morning he was baking brownies in the kitchen when something exploded, possibly natural gas. Didn't smell rotten eggs or anything?
Nothing.
Now the young mother is extra protective, hardly leaving her daughter's side. 8-month-old Leilani has toys to keep her busy. But the baby can't leave until her burns heal.
Thankfully, no surgeries.
Seeing her baby injured is torture.
It's really hard. It's really hard.
But Leilani is still here, unlike their home.
Memories that I'll never get back. The baby's favorite things. Everything was there.
Now she holds on to the simple joys.
She jumps in her crib and she gives us pow-pow. Pow-pow.
Little miracles to help her family recover. Family and friends are stepping in, hosting a donation drive tomorrow to help. Sierra Putman, NBC 10 News. Well, if you think about it, 50 states is pretty impressive. And today, 87-year-old Emily Schaefer's daughter and 2 granddaughters were there at the state capitol to help mark the occasion.
Isn't it a pretty capital? It really is.
Take the compliment, Rhode Island. 87-year-old Emily Schaefer's seen the 49 other states. With this visit to Providence, she's now been to all 50.
We've been to Missouri and Illinois, Wisconsin, Texas.
It's a goal she's had since before her grandchildren were born.
Every summer we took a vacation somewhere different. She had a journal. We kept track of all the states that we'd been in. Some of them we just cut the corners of or maybe just drove through, but they were all checked off the list.
Schaefer almost made it to Rhode Island years ago, but her husband wouldn't make the detour.
That's right. He said, oh, sometime we'll make that trip. But no.
The 87-year-old was born here in South Dakota. Then she moved to Nebraska. It took decades, but she finally made it to 49 states on her own. But she needed help to get to the 50th, right here in Rhode Island. Her granddaughter, Katie Pritchard, made it happen.
Yes, I just graduated from college, and this was the first trip I wanted to take.
And she did, and she said, I'll get you there, Grandma. I feel wonderful.
Seeing the excitement is priceless, especially now Schaefer's diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease.
It's an ugly disease. It's an ugly, ugly disease.
During the trip, you can see the signs.
But I have to remember what state this is.
Rhode Island.
We wanted to be sure and get her here before, while she could still enjoy it.
Enjoy she did.
Do you want a picture in front of the Capitol?
I would really like that.
Pictures like these will serve as reminders of this milestone, no matter this grandmother's state of mind.
Say it again and smile this time. Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
And the 3 generations of women are staying in Newport after visiting the Capitol today. They also decided to stop by Brown University. Sierra Putman, NBC 10 News.
Sierra, thank